Hi, and welcome to today's episode. The topic of discussion today will be aloe vera. But first, a quick legal disclaimer. Nothing said on this channel or in this episode constitutes medical advice. Always consult with a licensed physician before starting any new health regimen or before taking any new type of supplement. Everything has an inherent danger, and herbs, plants, and supplements are no different. So always consult with your licensed physician. Thank you. So with that, let me get started. So I want to start off by talking about aloe veras, or aloe in general, because there's so many types of aloe. But I'm going to start off by giving you kind of a background on aloe and how long has it been used by humans. So it's definitely not a health fad, and it's not a new trend. Clay tablets have been found by anthropologists that date back to the Sumerian Empire. These clay tablets depict the use of aloe as a medicinal plant. Anthropologists have also discovered ancient Egyptian documents, specifically the Ebers papyrus that dates back around to 1500 BC. Apparently, this document goes into great detail about all the benefits that aloe has. The Egyptians really prized aloe, and it's said that even Cleopatra herself used to bathe in the aloe gel to preserve her youth and beauty. Mention of aloe is also found in the Jewish Tanakh and in the Christian Gospels. We find it mentioned in the book of Numbers 24:6, the book of Psalms 45:8, and in the book of John, where it is said to have been used to preserve the corpse of Jesus. Mention is also found in ancient Chinese transcripts, and in these transcripts it's said that aloe was used to treat skin conditions. Many cultures in the ancient world knew about aloe and its medicinal purposes. From the Egyptians to the Greeks, the Romans, the Arabs, the Chinese, the American Indians, and the people of India all seem to prize aloe for its healing qualities. We know that Alexander the Great invaded the island of Socotra. This island is located on the eastern coast of Africa, in between what we now know as Somalia and Yemen, and he invaded this island on the behest of Socrates, who wanted to make sure that they had plenty of aloe to tend to their wounded Greek soldiers. Apparently, there's still people on that island to this very day that speak the same style of Greek that Alexander the Great spoke in his time period. So I say all this just to establish a base. Obviously, aloe has been around for many years, and many cultures have used it. Now, there's still great debate as to the actual origins of aloe, but many believe it to have originated in either Africa or the Middle East. There are over 450 aloe species, and the list just keeps growing. They keep discovering new species. Some of these species are believed to be poisonous, specifically the ones that grow in parts of Eastern Europe. Also, the Russians have tons of data on aloe. It seems that they really wanted to study this plant because they have a lot more data than we do here in the United States. Out of all these varieties of aloe, only 4 have been studied in recent history for their possible medicinal purposes. First, we have aloe vera, also known as Aloe barbadensis Miller, and in Spanish it is called savila. We have Aloe peribaker, Aloe ferox, and Aloe arborensis, also known as tree aloe. Now let me talk a little bit about the leaf. The exterior leaf of the aloe plant is packed full of quinones and aloin. Now these are powerful laxatives, and for many thousands of years it's been used as a laxative. Here in the United States, however, as of 2002, aloe in products have been banned by the FDA and are no longer found in over-the-counter laxative products. It was banned because of its lack of safety data. Also, it's believed that aloe can affect your potassium intake, thus causing potassium depletion, and could affect your water reabsorption. And prolonged use of aloe in products could possibly have a link with colorectal cancer. Now, let me keep talking about some of the possible negative effects of aloe and aloe products. So if you are breastfeeding, it is recommended that you do not consume aloe or aloe products because you could cause your infant gastrointestinal distress. I believe that's because of the aloin. Again, it's a very powerful laxative, so you could give your newborn diarrhea. Now, if you're pregnant, you should stay away from aloe and aloe products because if you consume them, you could induce contractions. And aloe isn't for everybody, by the way. You could be allergic to it, so it is recommended that you take a small portion of aloe and rub it on your wrist or behind your ear and wait about 10 minutes to see whether or not you have an allergic reaction. If you develop a rash, a red spot, or a burning, itching sensation, chances are that you are allergic to aloe and you should not proceed any further with its use. Now, we know that aloe has a negative interaction with certain medications. These include synthetic insulin drugs and anti-diabetic drugs, specifically Lispro and sitagliptin. So just some more points of caution. Also, going back to aloe being a powerful laxative, when you consume aloe vera juice, specifically aloe vera juice that says that it is made from the whole leaf juice. If you were to consume even a medium-sized amount of that juice, you could give yourself really bad diarrhea. And what could happen is that you could dehydrate yourself, you could lose all your electrolytes, and you could die from this actually quite quickly. So just something to keep in mind. Be very careful with your consumption of aloe vera juice and just know that it is a powerful laxative. And if you do give yourself bad diarrhea, you could die from dehydration. So it's not something to be taken lightly. And again, always talk to your doctor before starting any kind of new supplementation or health regimen. All right, so now let's talk about the inner part of the aloe plant, the leaf, the aloe vera leaf, the inside. The inside is called the inner leaf, and that's where you're going to find the aloe vera gel. And this is where all the magic takes place. This is where we find all kinds of different vitamins, minerals, enzymes, saccharides, etc. Unfortunately, the majority of the aloe vera gel, this clearish, white opaque color, you know what, before I continue with the inner leaf, let's go back to the aloin and the exterior leaf. Aloin is also found in the yellow-orange sap that runs out of the leaf when you cut the leaf from the plant. Now, this sap, this orange-yellow sap, is again packed full of aloin, and aloin is considered to be toxic to human skin, and specifically to have a negative effect on fibroblast, which means if you're healing, if you have a cut and you get some of that yellow sap on it, it could impede the healing process. So again, the yellow sap, the orange sap, is considered to be toxic, specifically to human skin, and could impede the healing process of wounds. So now let's jump back to the inner leaf where we find the aloe vera gel. Now the aloe vera gel is, from what I've read, that's where all the nutrients, all the beneficial factors are. Now, only about 0.5 of that aloe vera gel contains solids. 95% of it is just water. And we find all kinds of different vitamins. Let me go through a quick read through of some of the vitamins that we find in minerals. Okay, so we have amino acids, several amino acids, carbohydrates, different saccharides. We have enzymes, inorganic compounds like calcium, chromium, copper, iron, magnesium, manganese, potassium, phosphorus, sodium, and zinc. Now, the mineral content will vary greatly depending on the soil that it is grown in, because plants don't make, minerals, from what I understand. They absorb them from the soil that they're grown in. We also find lipids and vitamins like B1, B2, B6, vitamin C, beta carotenes, folic acid, etc. Tons of different carbohydrates. So it has a wide variety of compounds and molecules and all kinds of good stuff in there. Now let's fast forward to some of its more modern history. Aloe vera gained popularity here in the United States in the 1930s, and then it became really widespread in the 1940s because apparently in the Los Alamos proving grounds, military doctors used freshly cut aloe to treat soldiers that had been exposed to radiation, and they suffered some really bad skin burns. They tried different types of medication, but what really seemed to do the trick was freshly cut aloe gel. And from then on, aloe became somewhat of a household name. We began to see it in different products like hair conditioners, lotions, etc. Now, in the 1980s, a group of scientists working for Carrington Labs were commissioned to find out what was the active ingredient in aloe, because there was mixed reviews when it came to aloe. Sometimes people would buy an aloe product in stores and they reported no beneficial results. And then sometimes people would use freshly cut aloe and get amazing results and heal their wounds in half the time. So why was this? So these scientists discovered the active ingredient in aloe. And the active ingredient turned out to be a polysaccharide now known as ace-mannan. Ace-mannan. And ace-mannan is an amazing molecule. It is a very powerful immune system modulator. What this means is if you're suffering from an overactive immune system, you will have problems. Likewise, if you have an underactive immune system, you're going to have problems. What ace-mannan does, it modulates the immune system so that it works the way it's supposed to, so that it works efficiently, not overactive and not underactive, but just in that sweet spot. And it does this by increasing macrophage activity in the body. Now, macrophages are large white blood cells that are made in the bone marrow. In addition to this, ace-mannan also has an effect of increasing cytokine activity in the body. Cytokines have both an inflammatory and anti-inflammatory effect on the body, and both of these are needed for the healing process to take place. In addition to this, ace-mannan also helps with the cell structure, meaning the actual physical structure of the cell is improved. It also improves cellular communication, meaning that cells are able to communicate with each other more efficiently and thus increase cell cohesion. If that wasn't enough, ace-mannan also helps with your microbiome in your small intestine, and it does this because of the short chain fatty acids, which apparently good gut bacteria use as energy. 70% of your immune system is believed to be in the gut, and so by helping your gut, you in turn help your immune system. So it's definitely an amazing molecule. It's been used in, it's been recommended in different medication. For example, if I remember correctly, it appears that the USDA approved ace-mannan products in the treatment of certain cancers found in cats and dogs, certain types of sarcomas, sarcomas. And also it was used in treating chickens. So we know that it has been approved by the U.S. government in certain medications for animals to alleviate or to cure their problems. Like cats and dogs, it's been used for as a cancer treatment in sarcomas. So I'm just going through my notes here trying to find more information here. Okay. In 1998, Carrington Labs received its first patent from the U.S. government and currently holds 130 worldwide patents for their work on acemannan. In 1993, Dr. Santiago Rodriguez developed the first technology which allowed this company to stabilize acemannan products and thus make them available to people. They were able to commercialize these products. In 2005, a group of South Korean scientists conducted a study to try to figure out what's the best size that acemannan should be, meaning like when is it the most bioavailable so that the human body could actually absorb it and use it efficiently. They discovered that the sweet spot is anywhere between 50,000 daltas and 400,000 daltas, meaning in between those two sizes, acemannan is the most bioavailable for the human body. Okay, now when you do buy a product that has aloe or aloe vera, you want to make sure that it is guaranteed to have acemannan because, again, acemannan is the active ingredient in aloe vera. And that's what gives such an amazing immune system response. Most products on the market have no acemannan in them because, again, acemannan only stays active for about 24 hours in the gel after the gel has been cut, after the leaf has been cut from the plant. So you only have a window of opportunity of about 24 hours. After that, the acemannan becomes denatured. So Carrington Labs developed a technology which preserves acemannan in their products, and apparently they guarantee the amount of acemannan and the size of the acemannan in their products. So just something to keep in mind, because a lot of these products that have aloe vera or aloe, whether it's aloe arborensis or what have you, have no acemannan because they did not preserve it properly, and you're pretty much just consuming aloe vera water without the acemannan in it. So what they do have, some of these products, they have some pretty bad preservatives, which are biocides. They are biologically active, and they belong to a group of chemicals known as biocides, these preservatives. And biocides are innately toxic to both pathogens and healthy human cells because they do not differentiate between the two. So just something else to keep in mind. And acemannan has over 700 peer-reviewed studies that have been published. So 700. Acemannan has definitely been studied, and it's even part of an emerging field of science known as glycobiology. And it is used in a type of therapy known as immunotherapy, which seeks to improve the immune system of the patient. And by doing so, the theory is that the immune system, when properly modulated and when it's working efficiently, that in and of itself could cure or alleviate the patient the patient's symptoms and possibly get rid of the disease altogether. So it's called immunotherapy. And the other field of study is glycobiology. It deals with the different sugars in the cells and how they are used for cell-to-cell communication. What else do we have here? Again, I'm just going through my notes. I'm sorry for some of this dead air. Hopefully I'll get better at this. Okay, so let's say you have a plant, an aloe plant. Normally you want to wait for from 4 to 5 years before you start to use the leaf. It takes about 4 to 5 years for an aloe vera plant to mature. and that's when you want to harvest it. Now, from what I've read, it seems that aloe arborensis has is more of a it has more power in it than aloe vera. Aloe vera is more widespread in commercial cosmetic use, but aloe arborensis is used more in like medicine or products that are going to be used internally, like taken orally or what have you, because it contains more of these different compounds in its gel. What else? Well, let me give you a couple books that you might want to check out in case you want to further your studies in aloe. The first one is titled The Science Behind Aloe, the Healing Plant, edited by Bill H. McConnelly, sorry, PhD. So let me try that again. The Science Behind Aloe, the Healing Plant, edited by Bill H. McConnelly, PhD. This is a very thin book. It's not very extensive, but it, even though it's a thin book and a quick read, it has tons of scientific information, tons of references to different scientific studies, when they were published, who conducted them. Very interested. If you're more of a science person, you definitely got to check this book out. And again, the title states what you're going to find inside. The Science Behind Aloe. So very scientific. I have this book here in my possession. I read it. And before reading this book, I read another book titled Cancer Can Be Cured by Father Romano Zago. And this book also talks about aloe, specifically aloe arborensis, not so much aloe vera. And the claims in this book are hard to believe at first. You know, it talks about how there's an elixir that the father discovered. It has to do with a combination of liquor, whether vodka or whiskey, aloe arborensis, and honey. And apparently, people in Brazil and other parts of that area, South America, have been using that elixir to treat all kinds of different things. This is like a home remedy, right? And in the book, Cancer Can Be Cured, the father talks about all these different benefits that aloe can have. From treating hemorrhoids to possibly regrowing hair to helping with HIV, getting rid of athlete's foot, fungal infections, sore throats, arthritis, what else? Irritable bowel disease, ulcers. I mean, the list just goes on and on. Now, again, none of this is medical advice. And these are just claims made in the book that do not constitute scientific evidence. But when I was reading this book, Cancer Can Be Cured, I found it hard to believe that aloe could do so much. And then when I read the book, The Science Behind Aloe, the Healing Plant, it all made sense because of ace-mannan. Since ace-mannan has such an amazing effect on the immune system and on cell communication and cell structure, then I started to see how aloe could possibly help with so many different conditions. I mean, the list is long. And I mean, even getting rid of wrinkles, helping with acne, insect bites, all kinds of cancers, like I mentioned, genital herpes, AIDS, eczema, stretch marks, scar removal, infections, abrasions, arthritis, asthma, animal first aid, sore throat, all kinds of stuff. Another book that's very interesting is Aloe, the Silent Healer. And yeah, those are the three books. I don't have Aloe, the Silent Healer with me, but I do have Cancer Can Be Cured and The Science Behind Aloe. Another book, a fourth one, which is also authored by Father Romano Zago, is Aloe. The title is Aloe Isn't Medicine and Yet It Cures, similar to his first book, but it's has a wealth of information. And if you're a fellow aloe enthusiast, you might want to have that in your library just as a reference. In addition to these books, let me mention one other source that you might find very interesting. It's called Natural Medicine's Comprehensive Database. That's Natural Medicine's Comprehensive Database. And it's pretty much a website now, but before you get the physical books, and they're good to, when you want to see what kind of negative interactions certain herbs or plants could have with medication, or just you want to find out the possible negative side effects in general. So that's about it. I hope that you enjoyed today's episode. I hope you found it entertaining. If you did, do me a favor and give me a good review, leave a comment, hit the like button, subscribe. Check out my Amazon affiliate links in the bottom in the annotations of either the podcast episode, or the video. If you use those links to buy something from Amazon, I will receive a small commission, which will help me grow my channel and hopefully bring you more episodes with better information. And yeah, so thank you again for stopping by, and until next time.